When President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was first elected in 1933, the United States was in the middle of the Great Depression, an economic struggle that lasted until 1939. The action that Roosevelt implemented as part of his New Deal program gained the sympathy of the American people, re-electing him in 1937 and in 1941, making him the only president in the United States history that has completed 3 terms in office. In 1935, President Roosevelt signed the Neutrality Act in an effort to limit the involvement of the United States in future wars. This act prohibited the export of weapons to hostile countries. With the invasion of Poland by Germany in September 1939, Great Britain and France declared war on Germany, beginning World War II. In the United States, the Neutrality Act is amended to support the Allies. By March 1941, President Roosevelt proposed the Lend-Lease plan, with which the United States can trade military surplus with Britain in exchange to gain access to British military bases. In the Pacific, Japan was fighting the Second Sino-Japanese War, a resistance effort by China against the Japanese Empire. The United States opposed Japanese expansion efforts, imposing sanctions and embargoes to Japan. On December 7, 1941, Imperial Japanese Navy Air Forces attacked the United States Navy base on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. The Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor began around 8 in the morning, local time, with a force of 353 aircraft launched from 6 aircraft carriers. All 8 U.S. Navy battleships stationed in the bay were damaged. More than 180 aircraft were destroyed, and more than 2,400 Americans died in the attack. This attack came after many months of negotiation between the United States and Japan regarding the current and future situation in the Pacific. On December 8, 1941, President Roosevelt went to Congress to address the situation that happened a few hours before, requesting the authorization to declare war on Japan. On December 11th, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States in defense of Japan. Between June 4th and June 7th, 1942, the Battle of Midway took place. Here, the American forces defeated a then stronger Japanese military force. The Battle of Midway is considered to be a turning point in the war in the Pacific. It is during this year that, under the direction of Robert Oppenheimer, the Manhattan Project began the development of the atomic bombs. In the following 2 years, the United States continued gaining control of the islands in the Pacific, forcing Japanese forces to retreat back to Japan. President Franklin D. Roosevelt died on April 12, 1945. Vice President Harry Truman is sworn president. On August 6, 1945, with the authorization of President Truman, U.S. Army B-29 bomber Enola Gay dropped the first atomic bomb over the city of Hiroshima, Japan. 2 days later, the second atomic bomb was dropped over Nagasaki. Japan officially surrendered to the Allies on September 2, 1945, ending World War II.